there's a lot of people out there who are scared that AI is going to take our jobs.
Yeah.
I think there's a very real, for those who aren't willing to develop and grow and utilize AI as a strength instead of, just being scared of it, there is a risk for people to lose their jobs for sure.
There's going to be some components where AI is very effective. I certainly think what we're doing, like on inbound answering, with how good the technology's gotten, our ability to build custom, consistent scripts and workflows and integrate and more accurately book information. It's just better.
Welcome to the Painter Growth Podcast, where we help you scale your painting company in record time. Join us as we explore sales, marketing, hiring, finances, leadership, and more, everything that you need to know to scale and grow your painting business. I hope you enjoy and subscribe.
What is up, everybody? Mike Gore-Hickman here, founder of paintergrowth.com, and you're listening to the Painter Growth Podcast, but you already knew that. I'm excited for this one today, guys. I am joined here by Charlie Felker. Charlie is the co-founder of a company called Free to Grow. Which is really cool kind of AI voice software that we're going to be chatting about today, but he's also owned multi-state home service businesses, which I'm, also keen to get into as well. Thank you for your service for 5 years in the Army Rangers.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Mike. Appreciate your organization and what you guys do. And I'm thrilled to talk about this topic. AI is like you turn on your TV, every other damn commercial has AI. So it's nice to talk about the pros and cons and how it affects your painting business or home service business.
It's a hit. It's definitely a hot point right now. So let's just wind back the clock. What kind of home service business did you own?
Yeah, I owned a business that did aging in place modifications. So we would go into people's homes and modify them through, you probably see those stair lifts.
The bathtubs and the stair elevators. Yeah, exactly. My grandparents had all those things before they moved.
I'm in St. Louis. We had a St. Louis business. I bought a business in Western New York, Buffalo to be exact, and I sold both those in 2019. But it's a good little niche. People are getting older and want to live at home. And so it was certainly a demand there. But I had a hard time how we got to Free to Grow. I had a hard time answering the phones, and you sell your business. You're like, what could I have done to conserve more cash and improve EBITDA, and, improve your exit. And I'm like, man, I really don't think I needed somebody for 40 hours a week, right? Answering phones. And I probably needed 20 hours a week. And so I'm like, well, what can we do? What business can I start? And so Free to Grow 5 years ago was basically an outsourced CSR business. So we go to painters or HVAC companies or tree care, lawn care, and say, hey, if you don't need somebody, work with us. And we had a group of talented CSRs that would answer phones and book appointments within your Drip Jobs or House Call Pro or whatever. And a year ago, almost today, a year ago, April-ish, we heard a AI recording in a home service Facebook group. And my partner called me and was like, holy cow, right? This is going to be a force. So we made the decision as a very nimble small business to pivot. And we went out and partnered with our now Chief Technology Officer, Jerry Yee, who had built a language model that was answering phones and working with home service companies. Said, Jerry, we know the trades, we know these home service segments. Let's partner up. So we did. And we basically, this is May of 24. We called all of our clients and said, hey, like it or not, we're going to be shifting over. And half our clients fired us almost on the spot. And half stuck with us. So we've been doing the CSR role for 5+ years. And we just put both feet in with AI about a year ago. And it's been, I know we were talking before this, it's been very interesting to see the technology improve, capabilities improve, and where the segment's going. Because when we got into AI, it was very fringy, the stops and starts and latency and mistakes, and you get interrupty people, and AI would start the script over, and they're like, no, click, or talk to a human.
Yeah.
It's like comparing dial-up internet to what we have now. It's just gotten so much better.
So, yeah, that's really interesting. I guess So you decided to pivot your entire company and you were doing kind of like a call center type
Right.
thing.
Exactly.
And you decided to just pivot overnight, like we're going AI. Hey, clients, too bad, so sad. We're going AI.
We did. We let every client have a demo number, and we said, hey, May 1st, we're doing this. And most were like, hey, hell, you screw you, we're not doing this, and technology's not there. And some stuck with us, and the ones that have stuck with us are largely still with us and have been very kind of evangelical about, the progress of the technology, which has been neat. But it was tough. Yeah, we went from 20 plus employees down to 2. It was just a really tough period. But we kind of saw where the technology was going, and I'm glad we did. If we were still a call center right now, I'd be worried about the future.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely want to align yourself with the future as much as possible. There is very much there's a lot of people out there who are scared that AI is going to take our jobs.
Yeah.
I think there's a very real, for those who aren't willing to develop and grow and utilize AI as a strength instead of, just being scared of it, there is a risk for people to lose their jobs for sure.
There's going to be some components where AI is very effective. I certainly think what we're doing, like on inbound answering, with how good the technology's gotten, our ability to build custom, consistent scripts and workflows and integrate and more accurately book information. It's just better. That's the cold hard math of it. I certainly think it's going to be helpful. It's going to free up people to do other tasks within a business that AI cannot do, nor I think will ever do.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly think on outbound capabilities, I don't think people want to receive a phone call from AI or put down payments with AI. So there's going to be limitations there for sure.
So you're not testing on the outbound yet, just on the inbound.
If we're going to do outbound, I think it's got to be a rifle shot, like a happy call or a follow-up or soliciting a review. It's got to be very focused. It can't be just an open-ended, hey, this is AI Mike calling you. How are you? What is it? No. Or, hey, can you give us your last 4 of your card? They're going to press click quick. So I think people will get more comfortable on the outbound side, but it's going to be focused. It can't be this just open-ended outbound conversation. I think lead follow-up or, responding to an anti-lead or something like that on the outbound side is realistic, but we're crafting the inbound. There's so many complexities with getting inbound right, so many variations, especially depending on the business and how you want certain calls to go and how you want calls booked and scheduled. Getting that right is our core focus right now. And then I think we'll start to do outbound at different features.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. Now, I guess when it comes to getting it to work and making, hiding the fact that it's an AI, what are some of the challenges that you've run into over the last year?
Yeah, you mentioned one before. This latency was tough. It would be slow and a process. And if somebody changed their train of thought and said, hey, actually, Mike, you know what? Never mind. I want to come out Wednesday. It would have to restart its engine, so to speak. So that, improving just the core technology was one, improving the voice, improving tone, hey, a tornado just ripped through our house. We need somebody out to help us with the, flooding. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's made so many human type improvements just looking at the past couple months. And then so we improve that ability for people to complete the script, right? Where originally they'd say, oh, this is AI. I want to talk to the owner. I want to talk to an agent, right?
Yeah.
That number has dwindled so much because, people get comfortable. They understand, okay, even this is AI. I'm in the conversation. I'm working towards a book call or, scheduling an assessment or an evaluation. So they just kind of stick with it, right? And then it's slapping clay on, okay, what else can we do? Hey, is this Mike? We painted your cabinets last year. How are things? And picking up history within a CRM is stuff that we're doing now. So it's oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, this is Mike. And you guys were out last summer and yeah, it went well. And so recognizing certain customers and their history within the company is the next kind of chapter here. But it was, the technology was rough when we started, man. It was rough.
Yeah.
But it's gotten to a point where we're completing scripts, we're completing like the workflows, and now we're just starting to do more advanced, iterative stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I like to play around a lot with like the ChatGPT advanced voice model.
Yeah.
That one's really good. That one still has a little bit of latency. But there's one voice model that I tested out. It's I can't remember what it's called. There's kind of a standalone free thing just in beta. But what it would do is kind of use filler words while it was thinking.
Yeah.
Right. There's like a little workaround. It's like it would say or it would like repeat one of the words that you said in your sentence while it was thinking of the response. So it like brought the latency down. Do you guys have to do any tricks like that or?
Yeah, we have filler words. We have some clients that like that, some that don't. I mean, people have, you can hear me kind of typing in the background. People kind of do some sort of like white noise sometimes. Yes, we can certainly introduce that.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be latency, right? Like I finished when you started talking and we have this like kind of back and forth. So there's always going to be latency.
As long as it's not awkward latency, like
not,
there's a difference between like what a human would do and like an extra 2.5 seconds. Like
totally agree. I can confidently say it, when you publish this, we have a really cool AI test line. And you can have a conversation with it. The AI is we could have a conversation. AI could have a conversation right now very, very quickly about hockey or whatever. The challenge and where you want a good provider is the balance between the conversational and sticking to a script, right? Ultimately, if somebody's calling your painting company to get an appointment set, that's the desired outcome, right? It's not to talk about the weather or whatever. So you've got to balance that because people do sometimes want to have the comfortable back and forth and then get into what they call. So that is still a challenge. And that's always something that we're trying to improve. Because it
like
can go
selective
it
recall.
can be very conversational and talk about everything for an hour. And then it's like, well, did the call get booked? Nope. Or did this happen? No, it did not. So you have to balance that. That's a challenge.
Yeah. Is there a term for that? Is like selective recall or something?
Yeah, I don't have a term for it. I can call our developers. They may have a term that's more scientific than what I have, but that's a simple way to put it. Is the balance between being conversational and then sticking to refined script or outcome.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very interesting. I mean, I have lots of salespeople outbound and inbound, and they always work with the same thing too, right? You want to be personal, you want to develop that relationship, but ultimately you're there to do a job.
Right.
Yeah. So any other challenges that you guys have run into? I mean, yeah, like there's been a lot of strides over the last 3 months just with the technology in general, but like, what would you say has been the most difficult thing for you doing something new like this?
The voice technology is going to be a commodity if it already isn't. Okay. As far as latency and the conversation and tone and how good it sounds, it's almost like it's open technology, right? The big value and the big challenge that we're focused on solving is building. Every owner wants calls answered a little bit differently. They want stuff put into their CRM a little bit differently. They want like a call and response to calls they hear a little bit differently. So having the ability and a team to support that nuance is something that we focus on. And then a big differentiator is CRM selection. We have partnerships like a Drip Jobs or Jobber, not all CRMs are made the same. Certainly you got to have that open API, but the ability to take that information and accurately migrate it into a CRM is key, right? I can't stress that enough. You could go work with an AI company that's just like a fancy answering machine, but the ability to like take that role and take that information and put it into like a Service Titan or different technology is so important, Mike, going forward. And then constantly listening to calls and maximizing stuff that you find important for your business, whether it's booking rate or, customer, tone, how they sound in conversations is like where you want to have your AI focused. Because it's going to be conversational, it's here. That's already kind of a commodity. So it's like getting it really good to how you want it to support your business.
I was thinking about doing a podcast episode with an AI and just like going back and forth on a
You
specific
could do that.
topic.
You could do that right now. You could call our AI test line and have a 30-minute discussion. We actually have prospects that do that and try to test it.
Yep.
And they go from like really happy to really sad to really mean to like, you stink, to where's my refund, to when can you come out again? And they're trying to like see if the AI picked up on their first original point, which was like, I need somebody out here to fix my job.
Yep.
Right. And then they'll go on for 10 minutes and they'll say, hey, why did I call you? Right. Oh, you called us because you wanted to fix your original job, and they're like, wow. So
can we call it?
Yeah, call it.
Okay, let's do it. Let
I'll
me
post it's on our website.
give me the phone number. I'm just gonna share. I think if I share to share audio, I gotta do a tab. Okay, you can see this. I think audio is gonna share now.
Yeah, 757-550-3534.
Okay, and what kind of company is this?
This is our very generic test account. I think it's free to grow HVAC and plumbing. I don't know. We tweak it every once in a while, but I would just have a conversation with it. Like you're a client of yours or a partner of yours calling in to get, an assessment or an estimate completed.
Okay.
And say, what are your windows?
Can you hear the audio? Is it coming through?
Yeah.
Thank you for calling Free to Grow Heating, Air, and Plumbing. My name is Marissa. I am a digital assistant capable of answering your questions or getting you on the schedule within 90 seconds. How can I make you smile today?
Hey, Marissa, what do you guys do again?
Thank you for asking. At Free to Grow Air, Plumbing, and Electric, we provide a wide range of services, including
Can you
HVAC,
fix my,
plumbing.
I have a broken furnace. Can you fix it?
We can definitely help with your broken furnace. I will just need to collect some information to get you on the schedule. Could I have your full name and please spell your last name for me?
Okay, my name's Mike.
Thank you.
Wait, you're not going to sell
And
my information, are you?
Oh, absolutely not, Mike. Your information is only used to assist with scheduling your appointment and ensuring our
Okay, that's
technician can
good.
reach you.
That's good. Where are you guys located?
We serve all of the continental United States, so no matter where you are, we can assist you. Now let's continue getting you set up for your furnace repair.
Okay.
Is the
Do you
number
have an
you're-
agent in Saskatoon to help come out to my house?
It sounds like you're located in Saskatoon, which is outside of the continental United States.
Oh yeah,
where
they're
we
right. That
typically-
is. Okay, I'm in Kansas City.
Got it, Kansas City. That's definitely within our service area, so we can absolutely help you out. Let's continue getting everything set up for your furnace repair.
What times do you have
Is the
on
number you-
Saturday this week?
Unfortunately, we don't have any available time slots for this Saturday, but we do have openings tomorrow, Friday, April 11th, with several options throughout the day.
That's cool.
Yeah, so you'll get a text, Mike, from Kara, who's on our sales team. Just, ignore it, but she's great. If you want to talk to her, great. But yeah, I mean, latency's better.
Yep.
You threw some curveballs at it, and it's
Yeah,
probably quicker than
looking
if
for
I called a
curveballs.
random company right now and put them through the same paces. I'd get like, hold on, I got to talk to my manager about that,
Yep. Yeah, the answers like on privacy were great.
Yeah.
I would say, overall it handled the conversation really well. I would probably want to see like a little more like personal, like what's that? You know what it's like the
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
When she says like free to grow, it's like you'd rather say free to grow. It's
I
just
know.
like
Yeah.
yeah. But that's a human thing. That's like
I've
that
never heard
one
somebody say it's perfect. There's going to be dings. I get
for
it
sure.
with anybody.
But in AI and robotics, there's the uncanny valley.
Yeah.
We're like pretty much like across the uncanny valley. It's in pretty darn close.
I know. Yeah. And so that's very generic. That's there's no integration there. We could certainly like tighten it down, and you can make it more. We have a guy on staff, Ben, who's our chief science officer, who all he does is listen to calls and work with clients to improve. Some want tone, some want it more rigid. That's my point. It's like people hear calls a little bit differently. And, and certain industries are different. Like you get highly competitive HVAC companies in Dallas, Texas, and they want that call, book it, book it,
Yeah.
book it, book it, book it. I don't care, book it. How it sounds, book it. and it's different. And some segments and industries are more soft and understanding. And so, we have to be capable to tweak our model per client.
100%.
And that's a big differentiator for us. We're not.
You can choose like if it's like a male or a female, and
yeah.
tone, aggressiveness, all of those things.
We do a lot of A/B testing, Mike, where we'll have kind of two agents. We'll have like a Marissa and a John, or and we'll look at booking rates and how people in certain markets book or respond, and that's a big part of it. Absolutely.
So
I'm glad you called. You never know how those things go.
It's fun to test those types of things.
Yeah.
Then like everyone listening in can be like, oh, it's like, get a taste for it. The latency is definitely great. Like the latency was not an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Data is obviously really big. So say you have a painting company, right? House painting company who gets maybe, let's say 20 inbound calls a week.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what type of data would you look at in that type of business?
Right now, I bet 90+% of our clients are coming within three trades: HVAC, plumbing, electrical. It just seems to be adoption is just moving so much faster in those trades versus others. Now, we certainly have painting companies and others, but it's just that the call volume in those segments are so much heavier. Where booking rate's important. We put a lot of stress on, did the script get completed? Okay. We put a lot of emphasis on was the call transferred correctly? Okay. Sometimes people just want to talk to Mike, or they want to talk to Larry because they pulled a permit, or they got to talk to this or that. And we've got to make sure that call, the AI went through the script and then accurately transferred the call to the right person. Okay. And then CRM errors is a big one, right? If we don't have the hyphen and Gore Hickman and that upsets the email, that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big one, is getting that accurate. Because then what's frustrating, and I would get this too, is if we don't get the hyphen right, and the hyphen doesn't go into, drip jobs, whatever, and the email's wrong, and then a human has to go back in and look at it, automate it, and say, why we sent the estimate, I didn't get the estimate. Well, that's real dollars that we messed up, right? Mm-hmm. So we have to get that kind of stuff right. So we look at every day, we have a dashboard where we look at call volume, viable calls. We can't have accurate booking on spam calls or crap calls or whatever. Sure. So we look at viable calls, and viable calls is like a successful script where they went through, they talked to the AI, they went through several nodes, and we booked the call or didn't book the call.
Yeah, like the call kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a variety of stuff we look at, but up until recently, the technology wasn't good enough to have a conversation like that. So we spent time like, man, it's hard to get booking rate if the person's just like, connect me with a person right now, right? Those calls are going way down because it's conversational, right? You heard it. And we added something like, we can get you on the schedule in 90 seconds, right? Okay.
That's great.
So, and oftentimes people, even if they're like, okay, this is AI, before you know it, there's an exchange of information, and they're, what time is best for you? I can't do 4, I can do 2. So they're like kind of even completely forgotten that they're talking to AI. It's been interesting to see the progression.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
What's the onboarding process like? Like, how do you make sure that the AI is, trained on the specific business and the individual requirements?
Great question. So we have kind of a set of scripting that we recommend. We have 3 scripts that we can put in front of customers, or they can essentially pay more and do something custom. Okay. So we have two people. We have wonderful Aaron and Jess. They're our client success managers. So, after we have an agreement, we're moving forward. They'll work with clients typically, 2 to 3 weeks to identify scripting, workflows. The CRM integration is key. We set up a testing environment where, the company can call in, we can call in, test the AI, tweak it, and then we go live. So typically right now it's 2 to 3 weeks for, flash to bang, but we have big companies where it's 6, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, where it's so much testing, and they've got, 100 technicians that this technician can go here, this technician cannot. There's so many different variables in some of these bigger companies.
Yep.
But 2 to 3 weeks is a good, standard for us where we can identify scripting, update scripting, get the integration down, build the test environment, go live, make sure all the call transfer trees are right, et cetera. But onboarding is very important. Anybody they can tell you they'll get you up and live in 48 hours. I would really think twice about it.
Yeah.
So,
and then the way you do it is you just create a different like VoIP phone number for them, and then now they have 2 phone numbers. They'll have their cell phone and they'll have the AI number.
Yep, we create an AI number, and that they can route their Ring Central or whatever it is to that number. And you bring up a good point. A lot of companies right now that are interested in doing this technology start with after hours, right?
Yeah,
it's not quite as essential. A call comes in at 7 o'clock at night. They're typically that's rolling over or going to some cheap call center. I mean, you heard the technology, right? It's already kind of a step above what you would probably get at a call center for, a fraction of the price. And then you're getting stuff populated in your CRM accurately, and you can tweak it, and what we see is oftentimes they say, this is working well. I'm hearing some good calls. Let's start doing daytime.
No, that's super cool.
Yeah.
What are some reasons a company might fail with an AI voice assistant?
I think it's a great question. So you have to provide input, right? I think if you just think that this is going to balance your checkbook and pay your insurance bills and all that, it's not. You have to take the time. I like to say, treat this like you were going to train your CSR, your customer service rep. Okay. And if you're not willing to put time in, or you think you just sign up and this thing's going to be perfect, it's not. Okay. Or, it's not going to put stuff in how you want it, or book stuff how you want it, or schedule whatever. So you have to spend time with our team for at least the first couple of weeks to build your script, to get your CRM integrated, to get how information put in right. Spend that time. But where we go wrong sometimes is people think that this is just going to keep the sky blue for forever.
Yeah,
it's not. So you have to train it and work with it. And then getting repetitions, right? Listening to calls, working with our team. Hey, I heard a call last night that wasn't quite how I wanted it. Let's tweak this and update this. And maybe
basically doing call reviews and training it the same way you train an employee.
Yeah. The benefit is you tweak it a couple times and it's figured out and it's consistent and it's done. Where, I managed employees, that could be tough. That's a constant battle. It's getting people to stick to the script. Constant. That problem, not so much with AI right now.
So once you get it trained and you're happy with the output, does it ever drift from the script over time, or is it?
Yeah, we can have glitches. It'll kind of deviate sometimes. And then some sort of, we've got this like call scripting node that's part of our internal system. Something could be off, or, the AI misbehaves. That can certainly happen. It's few and far between, but yes, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say it was, doing that sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's interesting. And I never really thought about it like that, where, even though it's an AI assistant, you still want to treat the whole process like an employee. Like when you hire a new, phone, someone answer the phones for you, it's not hands off.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be training. The only difference now is this person doesn't need to eat or sleep or get health benefits or anything like that.
The difference is you can send us a script on a piece of paper and say, hey, this is how I want to start, right? And so we can have a base, and then we can also say, okay, Mike, we've been taking AI calls now for a year. Here's some scripts that work really well. Can we start with these?
Yeah.
Right. Or here's some voices that really work well, or very soft, or maybe there's a regional voice, with certain dialect or accent that we can introduce. Right. So you can kind of start, on first base or whatever the sports analogy is. And, but yes, if you can input and train, that's great. It's the guys that are hands off and say, oh, I bought this thing and this, I thought this would just be everything. And we get in trouble there sometimes. So
do you mind if I ask what pricing is like for?
Yeah, happy to. So we do a flat upfront $500 onboarding fee. Okay, that's basically to get our team involved and on board. And then we do typically, now this varies depending on size. We got some big enterprise accounts that are more expensive, but we do $500 per month plus $50 per technician or per crew. It depends on the industry, right? We used to do minutes. I don't want to do minutes. I don't like waking up and saying, what's my minutes going to be this month? So we're just like, you know what? If you're expanding and you're adding a crew and a crew and a crew, your call volume's probably going up. So we just kind of slap that $50 on per.
So if I was booking for just one estimator, so say I just have one estimator, then it's just going to be $500 a month.
Plus $50. Yep, $550.
Okay.
Flat. And so you add 2 estimators, that's $600, and up and up and up. So it seems to be a very people can wrap their head around that.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, where am I in minutes? And is my bill going to be 500 or is it going to be 5,000?
Yep.
So we just kind of kept it at that.
Yeah. Well, I can already, I already know a few of my clients that once they hear this episode, they're probably going to jump on it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's half the price of, and if you were to hire even an overseas employee, you're at half the price right there, if that's their only responsibility, obviously. But yeah, that's really cool. Now, one thing I like to do, and I didn't, you can attest, I did not warn you I was going to do this ahead of time. I do this with everyone who comes on the podcast with something to sell. What is, for everyone who made it all the way to the end today, what is the best deal that you can give them if they say that they listened all the way to the end?
Yeah. We take 10% off onboarding, 10% off the monthly service fee is what we could do.
Okay.
We're flexible on that. I think that's very fair. We do have to have an onboarding fee, because we are going to put time into it. That 2 weeks, I'll say it again, the people that just sign up and think this is going to cure all their problems, it's a big mistake. And we have it because people tend to think AI is this perfect thing and you got to train it, you got to work with it and, treat it like it's an employee, because it probably would take you a couple weeks to onboard a CSR, right? At least. So there, you have to have that initial engagement.
Yeah.
We've sometimes waived onboarding. I just don't think that sets a good precedent for us.
And then do you do contracts, just month to month, or
month to month? Yeah, we got to earn the business every month. So
that's easy.
Yeah.
So what's the best way for someone to reach out, Charlie, and give this thing a go?
So you could post the demo line. Call in. I encourage everybody to call in the demo line.
Okay, I'll put the demo. We'll put the demo line in the chat.
Yeah. Put it in the chat. We got a great website, free-to-grow.com. We got call demos in there, like our painting specific partners like Drip Jobs we're a partner with. They're good. We've done integrations with them. So we've kind of crossed some of those bridges, but we'd love to work with more painting companies. I think it's a great product. I wasn't always sold on the product. I was like, man, this sounds really glitchy a year ago, but you heard it with the demo. It's getting quite good and quite capable.
And the thing about it is that I've said this before. This is as bad as AI will ever be in our lifetimes, unless we have an apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's only
I know our guys. We got 2 really good developers out in California, and sometimes they go cold. Then they'll send us these videos, and I'm like, oh my god, crazy. They're working on rescheduling now, and like I mentioned, we've got this really cool Service Titan integration where they can pull up all the customers' information quick. Say, okay,
I like that if you can hey, good to hear from you again, Suzanne. How's the siding paint job holding up?
2015 we redid this, and how's it going? And we're on the service agreement. It's they're like, holy cow.
Yeah.
It just lowers that that concern about AI quickly.
Yeah.
So that
lead conversion, I get real quickly. What type of conversion rate are you guys seeing?
We're shooting for an 80% lead, book call of a viable call, right? Right now we're probably 70. So we're constantly pushing that to get up and up and up. It wasn't always that pretty. It was rough. It was rough, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we would high five at 20. right? Because it was just so glitchy.
Yeah.
But our team's done a really good job, and Jerry, our CTO, and Ben have just been, Ben's our chief science officer, have done such a good job with tone and latency, and we take a lot of calls. So we've got a lot of ad that helped us get.
How many inbound calls do you guys get in a month across all clients?
It's hard. We have clients that take 200 calls a day with us.
Yeah.
Those are more on the HVAC side, and that's going to really pick up with, summer months, et cetera. But they're getting, these big companies, these big, financially sophisticated companies are getting very comfortable with the technology right now.
Yeah. It's just the beginning.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Well, hey, Charlie, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, Mike, I love it.
Yeah, I'm excited to play with the voice agent a little bit more. And
I hope Kara already texted you. Maybe she didn't.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in AI. It's here to stay. So
yeah,
every way that we can use it to optimize our businesses and our lives, we gotta do that. So Charlie, thanks so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate your time. And if anyone wants to check it out, the link will be in the description, and definitely highly encourage it. It looks like a pretty cool option.
Thanks, Mike.
See you, Charlie.
See you, buddy.
Thanks for listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. If you want to grow your painting business, go to www.paintergrowth.com or click on the top link in the description. Talk soon.